Thank you so much. My name is Orla Casey, and I come to you from Ireland, from the west of Ireland, and we are responsible for the overall teacher training, teacher empowerment program. But we don't do that on our own. We build on the steps from the first project result, which was led by Riga Technical University, and the second one, which is led by ACEU. So I'm just going to give you, and as you've probably guessed, you are a little bit like our guinea pigs, but are informed, very intelligent, very bright guinea pigs who are going to help us craft the nearest to perfect that we can be. So thank you so much. And in that context, you will see from the program earlier that we have a 5-day program. So day 1 and 2 are today and tomorrow. Then we're going to ask you to, I suppose, immerse yourselves in the modules, or there are 6 training modules, over time, in your own time. But part of the module development is us recording the modules in an online presentation format. So I started that, and I wanted to share with you my first iteration, and I want to see, do you understand me? Am I clear enough? Have we, what can I improve to make these perfect? So you can, this is obviously a work in progress. I'm going to try this, high risk, but we're going to do it, no pressure. Not good start. So what we're trying to do is probably go back a few steps. So we've seen some of the tools that have been developed. In all, there are 7 categories of tool, and you've got 3 to 4 tools probably in each category. We haven't our final count done yet, but there are so many tools according to the different competencies that we've found. But where do we find those competencies? That's what we want to understand. This is it. Okay. Just going to start. Oh, good. Oops. Brilliant. I can turn that. Or I blast you into space.
Our first module in the B21 Skills Teacher Empowerment Program. This program is facilitated by the European Union under the Erasmus Plus program. Module 1 focuses on 21st century skills in a nutshell. Shall we get started? For each of our 6 modules, you will benefit from a table of contents at the outset, which will provide a roadmap for what the module will cover. As you see, Module 1 is a very rich and quite full module that reviews the process of defining the 21st century skills and before going into each of them in detail. You will have seen on that slide also that this work is registered under a Creative Commons license, so it's fully adaptable for you to use. First, let's put the spotlight on the overall program. What motivates this project? Basically, I suppose we were concerned that the rapid change of technology, globalization and internationalization is really, I suppose, creating a need for 21st century skills. That move from industrial to knowledge-based economies is also very prevalent. So well-rounded 21st century skills are vital to battle that uncertain future and helping Europe to become more resilient and respond better to what seems like ongoing threats. These skills are very much part of economic and even post-COVID recovery. we see from our work with employers and through Regional Skills Council that STEM graduates are often reported to lack 21st century skills, which then prevents them from innovating, developing and adding value to that company's bottom line. So I suppose we look to the fact that the B21 Skills project is about introducing those 21st century skills to STEM teachers and helping you to integrate them into existing curricula, so that they create more competent, job-ready STEM graduates and foster a support system to increase retention rates of particularly of female STEM students. We have 3 target groups that we're working for as part of the B21 Skill project. First and foremost, you are STEM HEI teachers. While you are very skilled in the particular discipline that you teach, a lot of you will not have received training in many of the topics that we're going to cover in this module. So our aim is to help you to upskill in these areas, 21st century skills, to transfer these success. The ultimate beneficiary will of course be our STEM students. They will really benefit from the more expansive jobs-focused softer skills that you will be exposed to. And in particular, we want to shine a light on the female STEM students. Many challenges faced by these students, and we are particularly interested in achieving better outcomes. So we're clear, the introduction of the skills, 21st century skills, and their integration into existing curricula has the potential to create more competent, job-ready STEM graduates, and again foster that support system and increase the retention rates of at-risk female STEM students. So 5 key objectives of the project. Facilitate the understanding and identification.
So I'm going to stop it there. I can obviously hear my voice. I'm going up and I'm going down. I'm obviously very musical, but I can find that there's quite a discrepancy in some of the tone. So a little calmer delivery would probably be a good suggestion. I would welcome your feedback. Again, this is just very much in an introductory context. So am I clear enough? Apart from there's a word on that, isn't it, when you go up and down in music? Does anyone know what that is? But yeah, am I the right person to do this, or shall we employ an actor?
Did you do that at your home or in a professional studio?
No, not in a studio.
Yeah, well, that might help.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
We have a podcast studio in our institution, so I will obviously go back and do that there. That should level me out. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. So. 1 second. So as Modris shared earlier, we have 5 deliverables. And these will all be available online. Regional Skills Councils were established in both Latvia and Serbia, and these were multi-stakeholder consortia that brought together not only universities but employer groupings, NGOs, government funders, to actually help, I suppose, guide the labour market needs, technology trends and any differences stemming from gender. The councils have been really instrumental in, I suppose, guiding our work so far, and we're going to share a little bit more about those later. ADISA and ACEU have been responsible for bringing together the toolkit. So we've seen 2 tools. As I mentioned, there are probably almost 30 different teaching tools that you can use to bring forward. And somebody asked the question earlier, you know, what is in it for the students to become more engaged, etc. I think it's very much, I suppose, the whole point of being as part of this project is that their skills are going to be A, employer responsive, and B, you know, future proofed as they go. So we're assuming, and we know that they're going to be really good engineers by the time we're finished teaching them and they graduate. But in a competitive jobs market, this is a competitive advantage for them to be much more empowered in terms of 21st century skills. While there is certification available for you to become 21st century skills educators, perhaps we need to look at some sort of a badge that we can give our students that you have helped to go forward. And that's part of our sustainability strategy, and we'd be really interested in hearing about that. We are in the process of putting together the teacher empowerment program, and that is these few days with you as part of that process to share the work we've done so far. So we're about halfway through the project, and what we're developing is 6 different modules that bring this learning to life and will help you very quickly and effectively understand the skills that you can pass on to your students. There are 2 more parts to the equation. So tomorrow we're going to hear from EUEI on our eCompass. So this is a digital platform, a very interactive digital platform that's going to bring the tools to life. So you've seen them in PDF format, and there was fabulous suggestions. You know, you need a form for that. That should be a Google form, etc. This is where the tools are going to come to life, in addition to the modules, so that you as an educator can click, 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 and be a part. So it's going to make it much more modern, much more, so we're not just looking at basic PDFs or basic PowerPoints or basic printouts, etc. Then we go back to the students, and this is going to be an interesting part in that we are looking at piloting the materials with our students. So what do they think of the materials? And both in Riga and in Serbia, there will be a process through which students will be involved in a pilot, and there will be a playbook that will help them then continue thereafter. So that's really, really, really good. So far on our website, we have 3 different documents that are available, and you'll see them here. So these are the documents led by Riga Technical University and the skills councils that I mentioned. So what we have is a baseline report. What are the 21st century skills? What do they look like? And how do they fit in, particularly into STEM education? This European Skills Panorama is a fascinating document. Over 300 employers were surveyed across 29 countries in Europe to find out what do they want. There is no more current information on employer needs as expansive as that anywhere at the moment. So we're really excited by the findings we have in here, and everything we've developed since has been based on that, plus what you've told us here. And then the regional skills councils themselves. There's a blueprint, because these councils work very, very well. But there's a difference in what's being developed in Latvia, in Serbia, and throughout the rest of Europe. And what we've done, particularly in Module 3 that I've created, is look at the best formats for these. They don't always have to be governmental led, they can be a cluster. We have a very interesting EU cluster which is on SME cluster growth, with 6 councils established throughout Europe. So we share that as well. ADISA then brings a lot of that learning. We have created 7 different categories of tools, and this is the toolkit from which we've shared some of the tools this morning, and you'll be learning more as the 2 days go on. But this is very exciting, and it's just ready now to share with you. I'm just going to share a little bit about the process, because I think it's really important that you'll see that we're not just doing this in a vacuum. So defining the skills was something that we took very, very seriously, and there's a lot of academic research and policy on this, but how does that translate into the classroom? That's always the issue. We can have amazing policy documents, but if they don't reach our students, by you, the intermediary, you know, we are that conduit through which that can happen. So again, Regional Skills Council is set up and brought together, you know, the people that needed to be in the discussion. These are the documents that have been created. And I just want to share with you some of the baseline studies through which what we've looked at to create the skills. So the key ones are what is there already. So there are some interesting frameworks in place, notably the OECD Learning Framework 2020-30, the joint CEDIPOP Eurofound publication of Skills Forecast 2030. Of course, because this is European funded, but it's really important. I would do a lot of work in the whole EntreComp area, GreenComp, DigiComp and LifeComp. So these are, you know, important European documents. Again, are they making their way into your classroom? The Future of Jobs report, a little bit dated, but it's still really relevant by the World Economic Forum and others. So we've done all that heavy lifting, if you like, for you and distilled it into our the first document that I showed you there, available to download. It'll be available in Serbian and Latvian very soon. They're about to go up on the website, but they're in English at the moment. Just very quickly, just, you know, what does the OECD Learning Framework share with us? But for me, it stood out that there was 3 cross-cutting transformative competencies for 2030 that address the growing need for young people to be innovative, responsible and aware. Creating new value. Really important, I suppose, that we're looking at, you know, questioning the status quo, collaborating with others and thinking outside the box in terms of developing new knowledge strategies and solutions. But this is what it's all about. It's about shaping better lives, and obviously that is such a strong engineering mission. Reconciling tensions and dilemmas. So I love the way, you know, that you threw in the change aspect in the reverse engineering or the Marshmallow Challenge. We're in a very unstable world, so, you know, how can we take into account you know, deeper understanding opposing positions, developing arguments and supporting the position. These all distill into competences. And taking responsibility. One area, we know that students are getting harder and harder to engage. Are they taking responsibility for their own learning pathway and also then the future of engineering, I suppose, in industry? So helping, I suppose, to develop that, you know, reflecting on their own actions, etc. So all of those documents are available for deeper study by yourselves, but in time. We look at the skills supply and demand projections based in Europe's European labour market and the future trends, really important. And EntreComp, 15 competences in 3 key areas. So we have, again, as I said, we've distilled all those down into 7 areas. We've done it on the basis of engineering specific, or sorry, STEM specific information, and Riga have been particularly good in this area. What are the top 5 skills of working professionals relevant? So they're biological science, computer science, etc. And then correlated those with the skills for STEM, with the competencies, and it comes up with clear findings. Long story short, it's all in the documentation. But you can see here in terms of ranking, what were the key areas, and that then led to us, I suppose, mapping and presenting you with the tools that we have today. We've also looked at them in terms of performance analysis, based in terms of how important they are to the employers, and then their performance. The ones that were most important that came up were 6th, and we added a 7th, which was the whole leadership area. So what you are getting from us, I suppose, are tools that are based in these key areas. Self-management, purposefulness, perseverance, and you can see that some of these are gathered together. Adaptability, resistance and stress. Resilience and stress resistance. Creativity, curiosity, one of my favourite words in English language. Open mindset, spotting opportunities. responsibility and fairness. How many of you are exposed or teach emotional intelligence or empathy? Empathy is probably one of the most important skills that our future generation can have. And then obviously well-being, positive attitudes and mindfulness. So I suppose I just want to give you a sense of where the skills have come from that you're hearing about over the few days. I'm going to introduce you now to Adisa, who's going to look at another tool in the whole area of purposefulness. Some of these are even hard to say. And for an English, well, an Irish language, an Irish speaker of English, yes. But thank you for your time, and I look forward to sharing with you more content over the few days. Perfect. Thank you. Don't need to clap. Thank you. There you are. Good.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I don't really have
Oh.
here.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
From the list of those future competences or that identified by, I guess, by business and so on, have you made a deep dive analysis of them, where they originate from and why those are listed as the top priorities? Because from the list it looked like it's social background and should be the task for the university to struggle with the consequences, not with the reasons.
Yes. A huge, and that's a really pertinent point.
So
Cool answer.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very
You obviously like it.
R2. Yeah, no. Yeah.
we didn't really analyze very deeply why these skills. One of the reasons I remember is that OECD, UNESCO, European Commission, they kind of pinpointed these skills because employers were asking for them. They were saying that they see that the employees are not able to perform without these